So let's get started on this next section because this is Andrew Brown, right? Andrew Brown, days ago, protests started when he was shot in the back of the head. He was shot several times in the shoulders, but he was shot in the back of the head. The police has refused to give the family the full police tape. So there's that battle going on. So the FBI just started a probe into the death of Andrew Brown, who was killed. And I'm just going to read the first couple of paragraphs here. The FBI launched a civil rights probe Tuesday into the death of Andrew Brown, the black man killed by deputies in North Carolina, as his family released an independent autopsy showing he was shot 5 times, including in the back of the head. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper called for a special prosecutor while pressure built on authorities to release body cam footage of last week's shooting. A judge scheduled a hearing Wednesday, today, so we'll go over that, to consider formal requests to make the video public. Okay, so that's what happened, and that's the FBI. One thing I want to say about the FBI investigating police is the FBI are police. They're a part of the police state. So I get it. I get it. It's not the same, department, right? But they're still the police. And you have to understand that the police receive orders from who? From the people in power. And so the FBI kind of doing an investigation on police kind of proves that the issue isn't just police officers. The issue is systemic. The issue, once again, I go back to, stems from the fact that this is the way things are done. The police shouldn't be investigating themselves, and that includes the FBI. When the FBI does, did the Mueller report, they're talking, 17 agencies. 17 agencies of what? Of your people? Agencies? Yeah. Like it's a conflict of interest. We need to have an independent party that does the investigations into police shootings. That isn't the FBI. That isn't, this has not been discussed enough yet, because I don't think a lot of people realize, like, the FBI and the police, the FBI is supposed to investigate, right? Something of this nature. That's their job. But the problem is they're part of the police state, because we live in a fucking police state now. Jr., while he was unarmed, sitting in his car in his driveway with his hands on the steering wheel. And now police won't release the full video, and it will only let his family and lawyers see 20 seconds of it. This is beyond horrific. So this is a statement right now from the family of Andrew Brown.
Let's be clear. This was an execution. Andrew Brown was in his driveway. The sheriff truck blocked him in his driveway, so he could not exit his driveway. Andrew had his hands on his steering wheel. He was not reaching for anything. He wasn't touching anything. He wasn't throwing anything around. He had his hands firmly on the steering wheel. They run up to his vehicle shooting. He still stood there, sat there in his vehicle with his hands on the steering wheel while being shot at. Now keep in mind, this is 20 seconds. I have 3 pages of notes for 20 seconds. We watched this over and over and over to make sure we were clear at what was going on and what was transpiring.
Okay. So, so here's the attorney, Ben Crump, talking about how if Andrew Brown Jr. did anything illegal, the police would have put the video right away. He's stating that because they're keeping the video, they're hiding something. So here is some of that.
The deputies that have been placed on administrative leave is still receiving salaries. They're on a vacation for killing Andrew Brown. We have to change this policy that police officers, just like in Dante Wright's matter, they try to resign, get their full pension and retirement, and ride off into the sunset after they shoot us in the back. We cannot allow this policy to continue. The deputies that have been placed on administrative leave is still receiving salaries.
Okay.
They always do that. It's like they commit a murder, right? And they say, "Oh, you're administrative leave," and they give them cash. You know what I'm saying? Would that happen at any other job, fam? Any other job?
I mean, we have people losing their job for a tweet. Like, this is what I'm talking about. There's no, like, there's no accountability. So this is why people get mad. And when I was in Wisconsin, in Kenosha, a lot of people there are mad about the riots that happened. They're mad. Like, they're like, no, like, this is I saw the small businesses get hurt. When you talk to these people from Kenosha, a lot of them didn't like how, BLM and protesters responded. However, you have to take into account it's only going to get worse when police have zero accountability. People want justice. You saw how there were no riots when Derek Chauvin was actually, held accountable for what he did. We haven't heard the sentencing yet, but the fact that he was found guilty on all 3 counts did something. And like, people want justice. So this is why people react this way. And you're pushing people to a point where none of this is going to stop. This is a back and forth that's going to be going until we actually have a solution, which I think is like changing the whole police system as a whole, whether you want to call that abolishment, reform, I don't care what you call it. It's essentially, it's systemic, but you guys, we're not going to change the police at all, because the people in power need the police to secure the status quo. That's all it is. We're not going to do it. We need to understand that it's directly tied to our imperialism. And so, just as a sidebar, today was the court hearing this morning. Sarah McCammon did a whole thread on it, and I'm just going to go through it. Basically, they were going to hear. The judge will soon hear a request to release body cam footage of the fatal shooting. And this is, of course, related to the police not wanting to release the footage. So the DA, Andrew Womble, argued against the release of the body cam video, saying it would interfere with the investigation, which, I mean, if you're looking at it from a cop perspective, it could potentially, shift public opinion in one way or the other. The judge says he spent hours last night reviewing the footage. Womble asked the judge to immediately disclose any footage he deems to be appropriate to the Brown family, and asked judge to release the video in 30 days. Womble also allows that he may come back in 30 days and ask for another delay if there's a change in the circumstances. This is ridiculous. No. He says that means if he believes criminal charges are required, in which case he would only want it released in court after the charges have been brought. No, you don't get special privileges. Womble, I think they do. They think that they do, though. And most of the time they do. So that has to end. Womble argues that either one, he should release the video after 30 days if he decides not to bring charges. Okay, so only release the video if there's no charges, or 2, if charges are brought, the video should be released in court only. Like, the public and the media have the right to this.
Exactly.
In court, Womble calls out Chantel Sherry Lassetier, attorney for Brown family, accuses her of making comments intended to prejudice to judicial proceedings, and claims one of her statements were patently false. So that's what they were going on. Let me see if there's anything else right here. Womble says the car moved and made contact with law enforcement before deputies began shooting, asked judge to admonish attorneys against making extrajudicial comments that could prejudice the jury. So if you click on the part where it says in court, Womble calls out Sherry, it'll lead to more threads so that she continues.
You're good, Oz. You're perfect.
Another attorney whose name I'm not 100% on, so I'm not going to tweet, is representing unnamed clients, says his client supposed to release a video out of concerns about safety of some people in the video, including officers, says he does not see a need for public to see footage. Attorney also raises concerns that the video release could exert influence on the jury and other judicial proceedings. I mean, if the video is just going to show what happened, guys. So death threats are being made against officials, raises fear that the wrong person could be targeted. Somebody's dead. So, I mean, there needs to be an investigation. So the officers are very distraught. Oh, here it is. The officers are very distraught. They feel for the family of Andrew Brown, the attorney says, adding, we believe the shooting was justified. So there's that. And then I'm going to skip to... they mentioned the death of George Floyd as an example of the critical role of video evidence. I knew this was going to come up, and sorting the truth when there are different accounts of killings by police. So they're saying that George Floyd didn't have a fair trial. A lot of people on the right, because the video showed to the public, showed
that Chauvin didn't have a fair trial.
I'm sorry, yeah, that Chauvin didn't have a fair trial in the George Floyd case because the video showed what he did. It's like, but he did it. So I don't know. Do you want the video to like not show what he did? I don't understand that argument.
It shouldn't be used as a tool, whether it could do. It would be better for the accused of what they can get sent to court. The video is public property.
Yeah.
We pay for the police department. Yeah. It's our video. Put it out there. Let the people see. And whatever happens. And you can explain the narrative in court and still, you know what I'm saying, explain your defendant's side. Yeah. But the fact that that's public property, that's our property, that's the people's property, it should be released out right away. No questions asked. So they shouldn't be able to play games with the footage and stuff. So
100%. And nothing. I don't think they have released like a full-on decision yet. So but the judge said this. The judge said, I'll just read it, Oz, because I had to go find it. But she said, the public release will be delayed 30 to 45 days.
That's ridiculous.
The Kali Farabi plus attorney will be allowed to view video after faces blurred and other redactions within the next 10 days. So people are going to be protesting, etc. So the judge also said releasing video would be in the public interest, but could compromise the investigation, judicial process, and safety of people in video. So that's a delay. Judge says media organizations don't have standing to request a video. We absolutely do. And
wow.
So
the fourth estate can't keep people in line. The actual reason why the fourth estate was created can no longer be. That's it.
Nope.
Can no longer be can hold the forces or the powers that may be accountable. Sorry, can't do it. But Julian Assange, when we slept on that whole situation, it comes back to bite us in the ass. Now they're going to be able to play games with the footage, whatnot, at the benefit of the police officers, rather than show the public what we're allowed to see because it's the public who pays for it and stuff. It is disgusting, terrible, but that's that.
No, and I mean, again, guys, like even looking at this from it could potentially, of course, but guess what? The video cam is there to make sure that police don't abuse their power. If police are abusing their power, they're going to be held. Everybody's going to see it, and they're going to be held accountable. That's not like it's not like I'm being influenced by he said, she said. It's the fucking video that people are going to be influenced by. Yeah. So you can't give me that argument that Derek Chauvin didn't have a fair trial when it's on video what he did. Yeah. Multiple people saw it. And now
they're arguing that it spun the jury a certain way because everybody was able to comment on it. But I
don't know how many times you can spin somebody having their knee on somebody for so long when the guy is like shouting for his mother. I mean, come on. Like you have, and people just standing by there. That's an overexertion of your power. There was they had interactions before. It's just so many issues that happened in that case. I don't think, again, it's a video. The video is supposed to be for the media, for the public to know what's going on. That's how you hold people accountable. There's zero tolerance, in my opinion, when you talk about, the video. Then you might as well not have a video. If you're going to keep it away from people, you're going to edit the video, you're going to delay the video, then that's not fair to the other side either. If you don't want your crime getting caught on video, don't commit your crime then. Don't commit the crime. I'm talking to police officers because they're supposed to uphold the law. Like if you're going to
I just want to see everything because I want to know right away. Why didn't you just shoot the back of the tires? They said, the car was coming back on them. Well, we got to see all this stuff. They to protect and serve who? The public. They work for the public. They work for us.
Right.
That's our video. We should be able to determine when it gets released, when it doesn't get released, whatnot. And it should be out there already. It's ridiculous that they're trying to hide it and play games with it so they can spin a certain narrative for the defendants in court. These lawyers, and they should be called out on that shit. And they should be able to have to produce the video. That's it, plain and simple.
100%.
It belongs to the public. Should they be able to hide the video, or should they have to produce it right away? Your thoughts?
There's no question about it. You have to bring that out. It has to be transparent in order to build confidence into your law enforcement team. There's just, it's just like this audit. To audit, you got to audit. You have to be transparent because by trying to block that audit, they are signaling that there is something they're trying to hide. It's as simple as that, Obi-Wan. Sometimes the least suspected is the most obvious. Give me a break.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, my man. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to twist the narrative. The predator class is trying to keep in control. So you, the citizen, have to stay in the dark so they can have their meat hooks all over us.
Imagine anybody getting shot for any reason. Like, and now they can hide the video of hurting you.
We
Do you
don't
see
we don't like the way it's
precedents?
going to be spun, fam.
Do you see the precedents this sets? I mean, if you're against the police state as a whole, this should actually worry you because they shouldn't be allowed to hide. At the very least, hide. Like, that's all we have is the body cam footage.
Yeah.